Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, with my lovely co-host,
Crystal.
As always, we bring you guys awesome interviews, and today is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Jacob Legg. He is the vocalist of the Corinthian. They have a new EP that's out right now called Of Malice and Madness, I should say. It's out right now, so pick this up. Pretty good stuff, actually. Real heavy EP, and we're going to be talking to him about that. So, Jacob, how's it going?
It's going pretty all right. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Glad we could wake Crystal's ass up.
Yeah, right on.
But anyway, Crystal, I'll let you kick this off since you got this interview, so take it away.
What was your experience like making Of Malice and Madness, Jacob?
Well, that was like the first time I went and ever recorded a full EP in the studio. So it was actually pretty challenging because it was mostly just me and Tyler. Whenever we started, it was me, Tyler, and our bassist, Casey, when we started. So we were just kind of winging it. But other than that, like, it was real smooth working with Eric at Domicile Studios in Cross Lanes. We were one of the first bands he started tracking when he got out of Full Sail. So it was, I think that he enjoyed it. I hope he enjoyed it. But we enjoyed it really well. So other than that, I really had a good time doing it.
Is there anything that impressed you or sticks out about this EP that you guys got out right now, possibly?
We never thought that we were going to be able to get it finished. It took a really long time, but once we finally got it, like, just the idea that we had it finished and we were able to do it was probably the biggest thing that we felt after.
How was working with Eric Hain on this at Domicile Studios, man? Did he pretty much just let you guys go and do your own thing, then step in when he needed to say, hey, let's try this or let's try that?
Sort of. Tyler did a real hands-on approach with a lot of the stuff with it when everybody recorded. Eric did put his input in and helped us change some things, and he would tell me if I sucked or if everybody else sucked, and we would fix it. So he was really great, man. I would say if you have a band and you need to go record and you're in West Virginia, Eric's probably one of the best people you can go to in the state right now. You know, he's got a real great place, real great gear. And he's just an awesome dude to work with. Don't talk to him about football because he won't shut up about it. And he's a nerd.
I like football.
Yeah, well, go over there and just talk about throwing balls and shit, and you guys will not get anything done. You'll sit around playing fantasy Dungeons and Dragons football.
Dungeons and Dragons, no, not for me.
That's pretty much what fantasy football is Dungeons and Dragons, just for people who aren't nerds.
Football role play.
Yeah, it's football role playing.
I take it you guys are jealous because you don't have a team. Oh.
Our bassist Casey's a real big Raiders fan. I think he's been a Raiders fan when they sucked, and he's real happy that they might be doing good this year. I don't know because I don't really give a shit about football, but apparently, from what I've heard, the Raiders are making a comeback.
Well, at least I'm just going to say this. At least if you had a team, they didn't make it to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose every one of them like the teams I like.
Oh, you like the Browns?
The Bills, Buffalo Bills.
At least you don't like the Browns, huh?
That's true. Oh, there you go.
They apparently had a real great year last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and 17, fellers. Yeah. No, I think they won one game.
They won one game.
Yeah, one game.
Yeah, they fucked up that streak they had going where they could have went 0, and that would have been way better than going 1.
Pizza party at my house.
Yeah. You won 0 games this year, guys.
Way to go. But we're all winners at heart.
Oh, man, now we're talking about football.
There you go.
None of us even like football.
What's your favorite song on the EP?
My favorite song, like, to play would be Tall Tale or Horror in the Sand. Horror in the Sand is one of my favorite songs to play, and I like, probably from a listening standpoint, I like some of like the more melodic songs we have, like Fiddler's Green or The Harrowing. Those are more of our like Gothenburg sound style root songs, where the other ones on the EP are more of, we try to make them crushingly heavy and really brutal. So we have kind of a mix. If you like melodic death metal stuff like At the Gates or the Black Dahlia Murder, there's some stuff on it for you that you will like a whole lot that we still incorporate like modern American like deathcore heaviness into. And then the other ones are, we try to make them a little bit more abstract sounding and just not as melodic as some of the other ones on the EP.
How much growth musically, Jacob, have you seen this band go through since the formation and up to the release of this EP, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you?
Well, whenever we started, we kind of were just leaning towards the melodic death metal sound of like At the Gates and Black Dahlia, and at the time we were really into like more heavier bands that were like coming up, like the Acacia Strain or like Fit for an Autopsy. Like those bands really like catched our ears, and we liked what they were doing. So as we were writing it, we wanted to try to incorporate the heavy sounds that those bands were doing with more of like the melodic stuff that, melodic death metal was doing. So I would say it evolved into like what it is now, because it originally started as not what it is now. It's just something that naturally happened, and where it took us so long to make the EP, we had time to work on it.
What do you hope your fans take away from your music?
I hope they like it a whole lot, and they really enjoy what we're doing. I hope they decide to come back to shows and check us out more, where we are just starting. But also hope that lyrically, I guess, I hope they actually understand what all the lyrics are about and stuff. I've had some people tell me that they got it, and some people are just they sound cool. And then you get those people, it's just I don't know what in the world that guy's saying. I just don't get it.
Yeah, a lot of folks are like that.
Yeah. I think one of the strangest comments I ever heard was one of our friends' dads, he went to one of our shows and another band played, and who don't do the yelling and stuff that we do, and they gave him their CD, and when he went home and listened to it, he thought it was us and they were singing, and he was just like, what the hell? He was just like, this, he's like, they sound a lot different live. And then my friend was like, Dad, it's not Jake's band. It's a different band. He was like, because I liked it better when they were just yelling and I couldn't understand what he was saying.
What helps you keep your mind fresh and open to new lyrics, to not make it stale to your guys' style of music? What helps you out, man? Do you do anything differently?
Well, I read a lot. I read a lot of horror and comic books. Even our band's name, the Corinthian, it comes from a comic book, so we're really nerdy from the start. It comes from the comic book, The Sandman. The Sandman was actually a huge inspiration for the lyrics on Of Malice and Madness. That's kind of where I got the first inception for the idea I wanted to do with the lyrics on it. But other than that, man, I really just I try to read a lot. I think I like a lot of Stephen King and H.P. Lovecraft, and I feel like if you figure out how those guys structured their stories and what the themes and the motifs and the more, it'll help you to just come up with ideas for songs that aren't generic, I want to kill my girlfriend, or I'm mad at the world. To me, those are really generic whenever there's so many cool things that you can write about that are complemented so well by the sound of heavy metal. We try to go for more of a supernatural, monster, extra dimensional theme to our music. Just really out there ideas, and really just go into a whole fiction of a world. So I would just suggest if you probably should read a little bit. It will help you. So
did you write that Cthulhu song yet?
Well, I have been writing a song that's Old God based for some of the new material we're writing. So that will come.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about your local scene?
In West Virginia overall, or in Logan?
Both.
Well, Logan, there is no metal scene here. It doesn't really exist. There's one other metal band, Let the Guilty Hang, from the area.
We love Let the Guilty Hang.
Yeah, those guys are real cool. We've been friends with them forever. We shared practice spaces with them for a long time. Mine and Tyler's first band played a couple shows with them, and they helped us out. They haven't really been as active as we would like them to be, because we've always wanted to play a lot of shows with them. Our guitar player was in was in Let the Guilty Hang for a while.
He starts saying Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry, we were talking about that. But in West Virginia overall, man, I think that there is a really good metal scene it really just seems like it's kicking off really well right now. There's bands who are at all stages. You have Byzantine and Left Behind, who are doing the national circuit and are making huge waves, and then there's just smaller metal bands around the state that are doing really well. So I think it's doing pretty all right. I don't know if it's as big as say Ohio, which is right next to us, they get like national acts coming through all the time that were bands that I love. And in West Virginia, I don't really see a lot of like the metal bands that I'm really into coming here. Like Black Dahlia come like once a year, it seems like, and Cannibal Corpse come. But other than that, a lot of the stuff that I'm personally into on like a worldwide level, I don't really ever see in West Virginia. It's sad.
Same.
So what can fans expect at a show from the Corinthian when they come out and see you guys play?
They might see Tyler Moon somebody during a breakdown. That happened.
Oh, God.
Right on the breakdown, he pulled his britches down.
Oh, no.
Didn't miss a note. But maybe you might be terrified, shocked, impressed. Hopefully you feel it, and you go home and you're like, I felt that. That was a great time. I'd be like, thanks, buddy.
That's how I felt after I saw you guys.
High five.
Yeah, you just give me the high five after the show. I'd be like, all right, that guy dug it.
Yeah, really. Cool.
What are some goals that the Corinthian is looking to reach, like music videos, festivals, or getting signed to labels? What kind of things are you guys looking to do in the future?
I don't know if we're really like looking to get signed to a label. I think we just kind of want to build a following in West Virginia first, and then look for like a booking agency. We feel like that would be a better option than just trying to get a label, because mostly all we want to do right now is play shows. You know, I feel like we can fund our own CDs and our own artwork ourselves. I mean, we did the EP all by ourselves, and none of us had jobs. How we did that, I don't know, but now everyone in our band have jobs, and we're building a fan base, so we feel like our record label right now isn't really something that we need. We would just rather just self-fund it ourselves and play shows and branch out into the other states and start to build a name in the region.
With that question that Chris will just ask you, though, also, too, what about, we're in a digital era of recording albums and plus getting stuff out there easier with social media and stuff. Do you guys like this, since you guys are a young band with this right now?
Yeah, I think it's great that it's digital, because we were able to do pre-production and basically record our EP before we went to the studio. So we were able to just like work out all the problems that we were going to have and how it was going to sound, and it was easier to write it because, you know, we could just record it and listen to it and hear how it sounded and try different things. And where it was just me and Tyler doing it, you know, we didn't have a drummer, so we used programmed drums for the pre-production and stuff, so that made it easier. I think that just goes to show you, man, like, the tools you have available now, you could do it with one person if they know what they're doing. So I think being in digital right now is great. I think being able to share your music to everybody is great, but it's also just like there's so much of it, there's oversaturation, and like you got to like try way harder to like make people care because there's just so much of it. I would say that's a big downside of it.
In your own opinion, Jacob, what does the Corinthian bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, man, if anything?
Well, we really want to try to bring a good melodic sound into really heavy music. Like that's kind of like the goal right now, is to just like make something that's really tasteful and catchy, but like can still just like be crushingly heavy and like brutal. And, you know, like I was talking earlier before, that this has lyrics that are just like incredibly cool and something unique that's not like stagnant or generic. Just have an overall package that's just interesting to people.
What first made you want to become a musician?
Well, when I started singing, it was kind of because no one else in our friends group was doing it. And then I really like writing a whole lot. So I knew that if I became like a vocalist, I would get to write lyrics and like express myself through lyrics and like come up with cool stories that I could tell to people. And because, you know, I think that that's like one of the coolest things about like our society is we have like this ability to tell stories that can like last a long time and like make impressions on people. And that was something I wanted to do. And I've always been like really drawn to like vocals. Like it's one of my favorite things in like really like heavy music. That's why I like a lot of like really heavy bands is, you know, I think that's a cool thing people can do. So I just wanted to do that. And now that we've been doing it, I get to like see like reactions from people that they like music that I came up with in my bedroom, and like my friends are like super into it, and like every time we go play somewhere, like they have a great time. It just like keeps me wanting to motivate it to like share those experiences with all kinds of people.
Jacob, is there a country or region that has surprised you of the support you guys have gotten with your music here lately, or a show or moment that stands out more to you than any for you guys possibly?
Where there isn't much of a metal scene in Logan, there aren't a lot of people who are really ravenous about what we're doing. I think there's people that like it and think it's like really cool and stuff, but where our drummer Brian lives in Ravenswood, that's like 2 hours from us. We didn't know anyone in that area. And when we joined the band with Brian, all the people in Ravenswood and the Parkersburg area and like northern West Virginia, like they were instantly way into it. And like I would say, like we have a huge support group around that area that we didn't expect to have, who are people who genuinely like us, and there's a whole bunch of them. So that was something really cool to us.
If you could perform with any musician, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Probably Thomas Lindbergh of At the Gates. Nice. I would like to maybe like sing a song with him. That that's a very that'll never happen, even though he's still alive. But he's one of my favorite vocalists ever, and I like his red hair.
Let's talk about this a little bit. How can folks stay in touch with you, buy some merchandise, this EP, tour dates, if you guys are going to? How can they do that?
All of our merch, and you can buy our CD on our Bandcamp at bandcamp.com/The Corinthian Doom. You can check it out there. We got our EP for sale digitally there, and we have a merch pre-order for sale for a new t-shirt design we have. So if people want to like pre-order that t-shirt or just wait until we get them printed in like maybe like a month or so, you can get it there. You can get our other t-shirts either on there or at our shows. We have 2 shows coming up this month in Parkersburg and Fun the Youth Fest. And I think, where's that at? Oh man, I forgot where that show's at. But we have all the shows on our Facebook, and there's a show list on our Bandcamp. So you can really only thing we really use is Facebook because we're lazy and we kind of all hate social media. So Facebook's probably the best way to get a hold of us. Just message us on there, our personal Facebook pages. We're not gonna like kill you if you message us on our Facebook pages.
Of Mice and Madness.
We might kill you because we gotta get a bunch of blood in jars for something soon.
Of Malice and Madness is out now, guys and gals. Go pick this up. It's a pretty groovy album. Real heavy if you like the heavy stuff. It's really good. Crystal swore at me if I didn't listen to it, she was going to kill me. So I listened to it, and it's pretty good. So without further ado, Crystal, would you like to say anything?
Just thank you, Jacob. I fucking love you guys. I think you're awesome, and I want to catch you on stage soon.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, you should try to come to one of the other shows we're having this month. Those should be pretty fun. One of them's a barbecue. I think it's still a barbecue. We were supposed to play the barbecue last week, but a giant storm hit Parkersburg. It was violent, and it knocked all the power out of the venue as soon as we got there. And we were like, oh, hell yeah.
This is so metal.
Yeah, it's one thing you could take away from the Corinthian is we have the worst luck and like a constant uphill climb than I feel like any other band has ever had. It's been like brutal and depressing. Everything you think will go wrong, and then some stuff you didn't think about will go wrong, and then you just still got to keep going, or else you suck. So.
But before we let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show, Jacob?
Okay. Hey, this is Jacob Legg, vocalist of the Corinthian, and you're checking out BODS Mayhem Hour, so get you some of it.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour at Uber City Radio. For my lovely co-host,
Crystal.
We'll see you next week. Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, no problem.
Now you're the golden.